Hey everyone, this is Will from PowerTraders.com. Today guys, I'll be doing our midweek recap on the cryptocurrency market. So as you guys know, we actually set a new all-time high. As you guys can see here, we finally broke through our final peak here, setting a close, a new all-time high close on the daily, just below 66,000. So that's great. And of course, we have a bit of a sell-off, a bit of a pullback, right? Today we're down 4%. But if you look, well, first of all, we are holding support right now, right? These levels that had been, key resistance levels are now serving as critical support levels. So as you guys can see here, we're holding it right now as we speak. And you can see here, this is great because these resistance levels, right, they're now support. So we have three strong support levels to hold in, to hold back the sellers and bringing back in the buyers, right? So let's see here. If we do come back down to say this last support level here, that's roughly about a 13% decline, 13% pullback. I won't be surprised at all that we'll come back down here, and then before resuming off to set new all-time highs on its way to price discovery, right? But as I said in my last video, momentum is incredibly strong, right? We just got that proof a few days ago with price setting a new all-time high. So it really is hard to say when we're gonna get a pretty nasty pullback when we're still so bullish, right? So definitely keep a close eye on Bitcoin. And of course, what Bitcoin does will have a pretty big impact on the rest of the cryptocurrency market, right? As I told you guys many times, when Bitcoin really shines, usually a lot of coins, altcoins don't do well. And I'll show you that in a second. But let's go ahead and go through our usual list, right? So let's look at Ethereum here. We can see here, we finally broke above this channel, right? This channel has been trading for a while. As Bitcoin made a new all-time high, it pretty much dragged Ethereum higher as well. We see this move here. We came all the way up here. We didn't touch this line here, but we had a pretty long wick, as you guys can see here. Now we're trading below, below this green line here. So Ethereum does look pretty bullish, but nonetheless, I won't be surprised that we could kind of continue to trade sideways for a while. After all, Bitcoin is doing incredibly well. But who knows? We could come back up here to test this level again here, which would bring us pretty close. Will bring us to 4,500, 4,600. And even then, this is not even a breakout yet, right? Coming back up to 4.6, 4.5. That's not even a bullish breakout yet, right? If we do get a breakout at 4.6, then 5K is not too far away. But nonetheless, Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, still has a few resistance level it has to break. As you guys can see here, it's not necessary. I think Bitcoin is in definitely a better position, right? Because it really doesn't have any resistance level, right? And in fact, Bitcoin has a bunch of support levels we could rely on. While Ethereum is still trying to fight these levels here in order to enter price discovery, just like Bitcoin. All right, let's look at Polkadot. And as I mentioned many times, Polkadot looking really interesting here, guys. We're so far holding support, right? And we're kind of consolidating right now in this really narrowing range. Maybe this is a bullish flag forming, maybe something like that, and then we'll get a breakout. But just like just like Ethereum, there are a few key resistance levels we still have to break, right? These are the peaks for Polkadot that we're gonna have to break. These see levels here, right? We're gonna have to. These are strong resistance level, but we're gonna have to break this level, right? These levels, right, to finally entering to all-time high price discovery for Polkadot. So keep a close eye on Polkadot. This does looking really bullish, right? Breakout, retest, and we're consolidating right now, but potentially a resume off. So definitely please keep a close eye on Polkadot. 88 not looking too interesting. Hate to say it, but price is narrowing down, right? So we're going to see a decisive move soon, whether that's to come down here, test the major support level, or come back up here to test these key resistance level here. So that's it for ADA. Nothing too much, you know. But I do think we're going to get a decisive move soon, whether that's to the upside or downside pretty soon. Chain link also, same story. You know, we still got this, you know, important resistance level we still got to have to break. But nonetheless, price is, you know, also kind of consolidating in a narrowing range. So just like ADA, although it could trade, you know, it could kind of trade sideways for a while. Just like ADA, we're waiting for that price action to tell us what to do, right? Whether that's a bearish breakout or a bullish breakout, right? We're just waiting for price to tell us. All right, so what I want to show you guys is what I think is going to happen, and a lot of this is based on the bull run in 2020, 2019, right? This bull run here, right? So let me show you guys what I mean. So in so for Bitwise 20 is basically like mid cap crypto, Bitwise 70 is like small cap, and of course the yellow line is Bitcoin. So as you guys can see here, right, 2020, as we're entering to September, we're recovering a bit, and pretty much roughly around the end of October 20th, towards the end of October, then Bitcoin just, you know, just launches, and you can clearly see here it really outperforms the rest of the market. What's interesting I like to point out is that contrary to the view that, you know, Bitcoin outperforms the altcoin market, in this case, at least in 2020, that wasn't true in the first half of 2020. But when Bitcoin really started to rally, entering into the end of October, you can see here a lot of altcoins lag behind. And what's more interesting here is that as Bitcoin sets a new all-time high, right? Look at Bitwise 70. It continues to sell off. You see the gray line? It continues to sell off against Bitcoin. Okay, so obviously the main reason for that would be that, you know, a lot of people seeing Bitcoin is doing really well, so they're dumping their sketchy coins and jumping on the Bitcoin train, right? But that's something to consider. So what this is telling us, at least in the last wave, is if Bitcoin does really well in the coming months, entering to November and December, all these sketchy altcoins, and obviously some are going to do well, right? But the overall market, the index of the small cap for crypto, you guys can see here, really struggles heading into November, while Bitcoin just absolutely shine. However, what we do see is that November here, at least for Bitwise 70, November seems to be a great time to accumulate small caps altcoins, while, you know, Bitwise 20, the mid cap, kind of trades sideways. But if you bought right before its launch, say if you bought Bitwise 70 in December, if you go just 1 month in the 1 month ahead, right, March 2021, look at this. So the story changes completely, right? Just in 1 month, you can see here altcoins just absolutely dominates Bitcoin. It totally outperforms Bitcoin. So what I'm thinking, okay, and again, this is speculation, and more importantly, what I'm showing you guys is, you know, all these assumptions and everything I'm saying is totally based on the first wave we saw in 2020, right? So keep that in mind, right? Just because it happened before in the past doesn't mean it has to happen again, right? But, you know, we try to stay ahead of the market, and, you know, it's really hard to ignore how similar the second wave have been, right? If you look at this here, Bitcoin initial run started October 18th, October 20th, right before this great rally on Bitcoin started. And guess, you know, we're at October 20, and guess what happened yesterday on October 20th of this year, right? Bitcoin set a new all-time high. So the similarity is pretty, you know, it's pretty obvious. It's really hard to ignore. So obviously that makes you question, well, wait a second. You know, I know a lot of people who missed accumulating Bitcoin here. So I think a lot of people are asking, well, how do I still get in the market? And, you know, my theory is, well, if altcoins does really well if you accumulate altcoins, at least in the first wave in November and December, you actually do incredibly well heading towards next year. So obviously that makes you question, well, should I be starting accumulating altcoins in November and December? And again, right, that's basing on the data from the first wave, right, in 2020. But let's see here, guys. I think it's definitely a strategy worth considering after you're considering how remarkable, how similar, the wave has been. Of course, we're still kind of early in the second wave in 2021, right? We're just in October. As I just showed you guys, October is when, at least in 2020, when things get pretty interesting, right? So we're still kind of early, but I do want to give you guys this perspective, especially for those of you guys who miss accumulating Bitcoin and still want to get in the market. I do think accumulating altcoins in November and December is, I think it's a really powerful, really rewarding strategy that you should consider, right? Definitely something to think about, especially those who miss accumulating Bitcoin down here. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and of course subscribe for more content.